Most people see Ruby Tui as the smiling soul of New Zealand rugby. The woman whose unforgettable interviews made millions smile. The player who celebrated victories with joy, passion, and endless energy. To many, Ruby Tui represents happiness. But what most people never see is the pain that came before the fame. Because long before she was winning Olympic medals and Rugby World Cups, Ruby Tui was fighting a much tougher battle. A battle simply to survive. And the little girl who had every reason to give up would one day become one of the most inspiring figures in world rugby. This is the incredible story of Ruby Tui. Ruby Tui was born on December 13, 1991, in New Zealand. But life wasn't easy. Her childhood was marked by domestic struggles and instability. There were moments when safety and comfort seemed far away. While many children dreamed about the future, Ruby was learning how to endure difficult circumstances. The environment around her could have easily broken her spirit. Many people facing the same challenges would have lost hope. But somewhere inside that young girl, there was a determination that refused to disappear. And even though life kept testing her, Ruby kept moving forward. As Ruby grew older, she knew she needed something positive in her life. Something that could give her direction. Something that could help her escape the pain that had followed her since childhood. That something was sport. At first, it was simply an outlet. A place where she could run, compete, and forget about her problems for a while. But over time, it became much more than that. On the field, Ruby wasn't judged by her circumstances. Nobody cared where she came from. Nobody cared about the struggles she carried inside. What mattered was effort, heart, determination. For the first time, she felt like she belonged somewhere. Every training session built her confidence. Every competition gave her purpose. And slowly, sport became her sanctuary. A place where hope began to replace fear. A place where she could finally start believing that her future could be bigger than her past. Then rugby entered Ruby's life. And from the moment she picked up the ball, something clicked. The game felt like it had been made for her. It was fast, physical, unpredictable, and it demanded courage. Ruby loved every second of it. She threw herself into training with the same determination she had used to survive life's challenges. But pursuing rugby wasn't easy. Women's rugby didn't offer fame or financial security. There were sacrifices everywhere. Long journeys, tough training sessions, moments of exhaustion, and times when quitting would have been the easier choice. Yet every obstacle only strengthened her resolve. Ruby had already overcome hardships that most people could never imagine. Compared to those battles, rugby challenges felt small. She wasn't playing just for success. She was playing for a better future. And step by step, that future was getting closer. As the years passed, Ruby's talent became impossible to ignore. Coaches noticed her energy. Teammates admired her commitment. And opportunities started appearing. Soon, she was representing New Zealand and proving she belonged among the country's best players. With every match, her confidence grew. She became stronger, faster, smarter. Her fearless style made her stand out. But what truly separated Ruby from others was her attitude. No matter how difficult things became, she refused to stop smiling. She brought energy into every team environment. She lifted people around her. And while fans were beginning to notice her success, Ruby never forgot her journey. She remembered the struggles, the loneliness, the uncertainty. Those experiences had shaped her character. They had taught her resilience. And now, the pain that once threatened to break her was becoming the very thing that pushed her toward greatness. In 2016, Ruby Tui achieved something that once seemed impossible. She represented New Zealand at the Olympic Games. For a girl who had grown up facing enormous challenges, simply reaching that stage was remarkable. The New Zealand Sevens team played brilliantly and reached the Olympic final. But their dream ended in disappointment. They won silver instead of gold. The loss hurt. For many athletes, that kind of heartbreak can take years to overcome. But Ruby and her teammates refused to let disappointment define them. Instead, they used it as motivation. They trained harder, worked harder, believed harder. Then came Tokyo. Another Olympic opportunity. Another chance to make history. This time, New Zealand delivered. The team captured the gold medal. Ruby stood on top of the Olympic podium as a champion. The little girl who once fought to survive had conquered the world. Winning Olympic gold was already a dream come true. But what happened next made Ruby famous far beyond rugby. Moments after the victory, she gave an interview that quickly spread across the world. Her excitement was infectious. Her smile was unforgettable. Her gratitude was genuine. Millions of people watched and instantly connected with her personality. Ruby wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't acting. She wasn't following a script. She was simply being herself. In a world often filled with negativity, people were drawn to her joy and authenticity. Overnight, she became one of rugby's most recognizable figures. But fame wasn't what mattered most to Ruby. She understood the power of her story. She knew there were people struggling just as she once had. And if her journey could inspire even one person to keep going, then her platform was worth far more than any medal. By 2022, Ruby Tui had already achieved what many athletes only dream about. But there was still one major goal left: the Rugby World Cup. Playing at home in New Zealand, the Black Ferns carried the hopes of an entire nation. The pressure was enormous. Every game mattered. Every moment counted. Yet Ruby and her teammates embraced the challenge. They played with passion. They played with belief. And they played for each other. The tournament became a celebration of women's rugby. Crowds packed stadiums. Fans rallied behind the team. And in the end, the Black Ferns achieved glory. They became world champions. For Ruby, the victory meant far more than lifting a trophy. It was proof that no matter how difficult your beginning may be, perseverance can take you places you never imagined possible. Today, Ruby Tui is far more than a rugby player. She is a symbol of resilience. A reminder that even the hardest circumstances can be overcome. Her story isn't really about medals. It's not about fame. And it's not about becoming a sporting superstar. It's about courage. It's about refusing to give up when life knocks you down. It's about choosing hope when despair seems easier. The little girl who grew up surrounded by hardship could have allowed her circumstances to define her. Instead, she chose a different path. She chose to fight, to believe, to rise. And because she never stopped moving forward, she became an inspiration to millions. Her journey proves that your past does not determine your future. Your struggles do not define your worth. And sometimes, the greatest victories are not won on the rugby field. They're won inside the human spirit. This is Ruby Tui's story. Thank you for watching HappyRise G-World. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to rise. Until next time, keep rising.